Oh, I got 2 extra hit points too. That's that's so much better than this crap feature I got.
Honestly, playing back in like the just out of the OG player's handbook, that's kind of how it felt.
Hello, friends. Robert Bevan here, author of the Caverns Creatures series of comedy, fantasy novels, and short stories. With me is Sam West, and today we're talking about the feat Tough. Yeah.
This is really simple.
Yes.
Your hit point maximum increases by an amount equal to twice your level when you gain this feat. Whenever you get a new level thereafter, your hit point maximum increases by an additional 2. That's it.
Doesn't get much simpler than that.
Nope, you get a bunch of hit points. This used to be like you could take it multiple times, but it gave you +3 flat. It was awful. It was like the worst feat in 3rd edition. You never ever took this because it was just, horrendously
Wait a
bad.
second. Oh, all right. I see. I see. Yeah.
In
Oh,
addition
no,
to 4.
you wouldn't. No, I meant 3 flat, but no. All right. I see what you're saying now. So you could take it twice and it would give you 6 hit points.
And it was
But
always bad every time you took it.
oh, sure. But this can be good, but it's always competing against. Should I just bump my Constitution by 2? And because you get other things from Constitution.
Yeah.
But then again, for the kind of characters that want this, I feel like it could make a big, meaningful difference.
I don't know how true that is, and that's why I don't love Tough. I think this is a really easy feat to stick on your sheet if you want to be a frontliner. And that is in and of itself a noble cause, right? I think that like in a world where you're building your first ever character and you're a paladin or a barbarian or something and you want to take damage, you go, well, Tough gives me a bunch of extra hit points. I'm not reading the rest of this crap. Slap it on my sheet and let's keep going. And it'll be whatever. It'll be fine. You'll get a couple extra hit points. Maybe that matters in some fights. Most fights, it probably still doesn't matter. And you're just kind of in this nebulous space where you've got some extra hit points. Sure.
But
Beyond that character, I don't think anyone ever is building with Tough as a goal unless there is like a direct objective to see how many hit points you can get a barbarian to have or something, right?
yeah, another academic exercise.
Yeah, it's like what's the most hit
However,
points you can get in the game.
but I'm thinking, all right, if you are a character, a frontliner who values hit points, thinks they're going to be taking a lot of hits or is just seeking to take a lot of hits, this is another tool in your shed. I mean, you get a bunch of extra hit points. If you're piling that on top of like a large AC and resistances, then you're getting hit less often, it's doing less damage, and you've got a bigger pool to work with.
So like there are a lot of there's a point at which you've gotten enough defense, right? Like there is a real point, especially because you're playing with other people. Your
Mhm.
DM is trying to leverage damage not just to kill you, but also to kill every other member of the party, right? Their objective is to threaten other areas of fights. There is a critical mass of tankiness that you need to be the thickest frontliner. There is a critical mass of defense that will pay off. And I think Tough exceeds that. I don't think you, especially on the characters that already have like D12 hit dice, Tough is going to be ghoulish overkill over even things like improve your AC. Like improving your AC means you're going to take substantially less hits, and that's going to give you way more net hit points than I think Tough End ever
Right.
will.
Oh,
Getting that in addition to Tough, I don't think you care about in the space that like you're already going to have 40 more hit points than everyone else in the party because of your D12 hit dice or whatever. You're already going to have damage resistances for your barbarians or seek out items that give you resistances on other characters, right? You're going to find ways to reduce incoming damage. Do you ever need the extra 15 to 30 to 40 hit points on top of that? I'm inclined to say no, and I'm inclined to say you should probably put something on your sheet that helps you in either a different avenue, helps you kill things faster, gives you more utility out of combat, gives you some spells, maybe, gives you like new ways to engage with the game than Tough. Tough is just like that little bit of extra thickness. I don't really think justifies existing. I don't think you're going to find that the extra 40 hit points is the difference between you going down in a fight or not. You're going to find more often instead, you're the last one standing anyway because the cleric's got 60 less hit points than you base rate.
all right. You're changing my mind a little bit here because I'm thinking about personal experience games I've played, and yes, the barbarian. But if the party was in danger of going down, the barbarian, it was never an issue for him.
Does
But
a taking an extra 40 HP on him, how does that change things, right? It really
yeah,
doesn't. And you're not winning, like, no matter how many hit points you have, that's not true. Normally, no matter how many hit points you have, no many realistic extra hit points you have, you're going to lose a fight when you're down numbers. If there's 6 creatures to your 1, you're probably losing that fight. So, like, you would much rather have better tools to either have killed things faster so your teammates will still be alive, or have utility tools that might be able to get your teammates back into the fight, get your teammates out of the fight, support them so more fire is drawn to you. If you're more threatening, things have to acknowledge you, right? If I have to, like, choose prioritization as a villain, I'm looking at a party and I see one of them is a barbarian that all he is a ball of hit points and has done very little else in terms of bolstering his attack pattern. I go, I can ignore him. I don't need to deal that damage. What's that worth to me? Not a lot. The priority should be hitting things that have higher relevance to the fight. And tough doesn't add any relevance to the fight for you. You're not a more threatening character if you take it. I will say, this has earned a new spot in the game as a sort of background side grade feat, right? This has sort of been regulated to the realm of skill, regulated to the realm of like the Squire of Solamnia and stuff. And I actually think it's pretty solid in that space. I like this a lot as a starting background ability that you put alongside none of the feats that are like truly broken or anything to that effect, but the ones that give you a little bit of extra juice. I think this is like in between a non-feat like not observant, what's the keen mind,
keen mind.
and like the feats you actually want to take, like Great Weapon Master, Sharpshooter, Crossbow Expert, the build around feats, Polar Minister, Sentinel, that kind of stuff from combative characters. That's not a bad place to be. It just means a lot of people aren't going to end up putting this on their sheet unless they're getting it through that background route.
All right, what about this? All right, frontline characters already got a ton of hit points, high AC. What about the squishier characters?
Nope, no thanks. Absolutely not. They usually
All right,
care about defending concentration. So they're going to take a higher con mod every single time.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Like, they're the characters I would expect to max their con before taking this 100% of the time. And the other characters are the thick ones that would consider taking this over tough, would be like, I don't care about my con saves that much. I'll just take tough instead.
Yeah. All right. Rogues.
Nope.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well,
so
all right. They just need so many feats.
they do. Most martial characters really care about their feats.
Yeah.
And they usually want more feats than they're allowed to take. And tough is always going to be the bottom of that list, just because your survivability doesn't necessarily trump your ability to interact with the game in other ways. You don't want to take feats that don't give you new things to do, and this doesn't give you anything new to do. It just as you can do the things you already could do, maybe slightly longer in fights you would have gone down. And that isn't justifying its existence to me on that sheet. I will say, like, I conceptually love doing like a criminal rogue that is like playing sort of the bouncer kind of archetype, and you take tough as your background feat. That fits that character really well and is serving that archetype pretty well, right? You can be a melee rogue that is stabbing things with daggers and whatnot and take a couple more hits without necessarily having to develop a big con mod or anything. That plays really well together, I actually think. I think it's a great place for it. You should never have to spend a feat on it, though. On the class itself, I don't hate it. It's just not going to be better than almost all of the competition at a given point in time, I don't think.
Yeah, well, I tried.
Valiantly.
Yeah, thank you.
I think this is a solid 2 out of 5. I think you can take it. It is technically something, and those hit points do add up. But like most fights, it's not changing the dial at all. As a background feat, I like it a lot. That's tough.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, 2 sounds about right. I felt like there could be other possibilities, but now you shot them down.
Imagine being 4th level and being like, what did you get when you leveled up? 8 extra hit points.
Yeah.
That sounds pretty awful, right?
But I mean, it is a gift that keeps on giving as you level up. But all right.
That gift's never gonna feel great. Where it's like, oh, what did you get for your extra background? I got 2 extra hit points.
Yeah.
Every time you level, go, oh, but +2.
Well,
It's never gonna ever feel like amazing.
Some of the subclasses we've covered, though, yeah. Oh, I've got this crab feature, but I got 2 extra hit points too. That's so much better than this crab feature I got.
Honestly, playing back in like the just out of the OG player's handbook, that's kind of how it felt. Like there weren't the disparity in options are really wide, right? But you would have characters where you just be like, I mean, tough is better than what I'm getting elsewhere, and none of us have like done the math or figured out a good direction to like combine a bunch of different feats together. We're all reading these for the first time.
Mm.
I mean, I don't know how good my 6th level feature is here, but it doesn't feel great. At least I'm also getting 2 extra hit points. That's kind of sweet. And then tough feels a lot better, right? It's just in a world without good design, like well-designed options being plentiful, yeah, this is better, but not by a lot.
All right. Well, that was tough. Thank you, Sam, and thank you everyone for joining us. Uh, I'm thinking people are going to have some opinions on this one. I'd love to hear them down in the comments below. Like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.